Oh, good morning, Jeannette. I'm so happy to meet you and be here.
Me too. This afternoon. I was looking at your in the profile of LinkedIn, no? Usually I don't ask questions. It's really conversation. But you are, and now that I've met you, I love it because it really represents you. And so you have that. It's the cosmic confidence coach.
Yes.
Huh? And plus, then you have another. Well, you wrote a book, which is the Cosmic Bitch.
Cosmic bitch slap. Yep.
That's so beautiful names that you will have to explain.
Oh,
From where they
oh,
come, and a little bit to get to know a little bit about you, because it's really beautiful. It's
thank
really,
you.
really, I don't know, positively impacting.
Ah, indeed, indeed. So, a cosmic bitch slap
Uh-huh.
is how the universe shows us something,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
right? And in American idiom, to be bitch slapped is like this in the
Okay.
back of the bitch slapped. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so in our life, there's many things we cannot see
Mm-hmm.
or will not see or just whatever. And the universe bitch slaps us to open our eyes, to show us
Yeah.
something.
For us to see it. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And so when you get bitch slapped, you perceive what you're looking at completely differently
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
forever.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, in the world of coaching and people doing work in personal development and growth, sometimes is this idea of, oh, it's very difficile and it takes a long time. And not always,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes it happens very fast
Yes.
and you're completely changed.
Yes.
So, an example of this would be somebody who has a very stressful job that they
Mm-hmm.
hate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they don't see that they can just leave, go do
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
No. And they work and and then they have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a cosmic bitch slap.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so for me, uh, I worked many years in the motion picture industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I one day was in Los Angeles sitting out my beautiful back porch in the sunset and beautiful. And this insane dialogue happened in my head where this tiny little voice said, I don't give a fuck if I never make another movie. And the big loud voice said, wait, what? Shut up. And the tiny little voice said, no, I don't care. I'm done. And the big loud voice said, what do you mean? And I was like, what the hell was that? Because I had never heard that tiny little
Mm-hmm.
voice.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know what that tiny little voice was.
Yes.
And all of us have this
Yes.
big, loud voice, right? And the tiny voice, many words for this, but it's the voice of your heart,
Yes, it is. Yes.
your inner voice, the
Yeah.
voice of your heart. And we are so removed from that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody like me who's like really smart, has lived all over the world, speak, a high degree of emotional intelligence, academic, what I didn't know what that was.
Mm-hmm.
We just were out of touch and we live in our
Yes.
heads and.
Yes.
So pretty much uh I I had like burned out of the film industry and dropped out, and then I freaked out because I couldn't figure out what I would do. And when that little voice I realized what that was, and I just got very silent and still,
Mm-hmm.
and everything fell
Mm-hmm.
away. I didn't care about cooking or entertaining or all of the shit that I do all of the time.
Yeah.
And that was very different to be instead of doing,
Mm-hmm.
being.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I had never done as a
Mm-hmm.
lifelong overachiever,
Yeah.
never.
Yes.
So this sense of calm, tranquility, and I decided, oh, okay, that's okay. I had to give myself permission to do that, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
don't, be productive and
Yeah. 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 Oof.
right.
Yes.
So I had this kind of insight thing of my mother informally taught ESL,
Mm-hmm.
and where in this suburb of Chicago that I grew up in, and she has no formal education, but she was providing something so valuable to these people because it was practical. What do you do when you get on a bus? Stuff
Yeah.
like that. It wasn't teaching grammar or complex conversation, whatever. And it occurred to me like, wow, I'd be really great at that. I've been a teacher kind of all my life, one way or another, and something new, something different. I could do it wherever, I got very excited. And the next bitch slap was when you are on your path, when you're the way we can tell we're doing the right thing is when that's all we can think about to the exclusion of everything else,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I started researching ESL and how that works and what to do. So I went to UCLA. I was accepted and certified, fortunately, in LA. And I thought I would do that in Los Angeles because there's tons of Mexicans and Iranians. There's a large international population, and it wasn't financially viable. So I ended up going to Korea for a year to
Oh,
work
wow.
with children, which was very karmic payback. I didn't enjoy myself.
Mm.
I'm a student of culture,
Yeah.
ancient culture, comparative culture. I've never been a big fan of Asian culture,
Mm-hmm.
particularly.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not acquire an affinity for it whilst in Korea. But yeah, I worked out my contract, and then I was in India for 6 months, and I came back to LA for the next bitch slap, which was the word Poland kept being in my head. I was on a break. I was out in the desert in Joshua Tree National
Yeah.
Park, which is a beautiful desert
Yeah.
outside Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And this word, and like, what is that? Whatever. And so I checked it out, and I bought a one-way ticket to Warsaw. I had no job. I had nowhere to live. I don't speak Polish. I'd never been there. Whatever, let's go.
Wow.
And
Okay.
yeah, I lived and worked there for 5 years. And that got, then I moved to Barcelona because I needed the beach and the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Poland, it's very gray
Mm-hmm.
and cold, and it was very good for business, but not so good for the soul in a certain way.
Yeah.
And I had immigration issues in Barcelona
Mm.
that I could not overcome. I mean, here's my EU residency card. Last time I checked, Spain was part of the EU,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they were all like, "Oh no, no, blah, 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 blah." So it was ridiculous. I hired an immigration lawyer, and I hung around trying for like a year, and then I was like, "I'm done," and
The pity, yeah.
I came back. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But I've talked this story with a lot of women, and I've been coaching informally and then formally since maybe 2014. So I've
Mm-hmm.
spoken about this a lot, and invariably the reaction is like, "Oh my God, you're so brave," or "That's so inspiring," or the inspiring part. That's good. And it wasn't until very recently that I took ownership of that, because to me, when someone would say, "Oh, wow, that's so brave," I'd be like, "Well, yeah,
Mm.
no, I mean, you've produced a movie, what can't you do?" Or, "Well, yeah, it wasn't really a big deal," or, "Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
this is a very common thing that women do all the time, and we need to take ownership for what we've accomplished, and it's much
Yes.
easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, then COVID happened, and I was like, I have to write this, I have to share this, because there were a lot of I've highlighted a couple of things, but there were a lot of these lessons, and pretty much it's a story. It's a memoir, but it's a lot around all the things we don't know we already know,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes.
And for me, that was, I left the film industry with this huge bag of sharp, shiny tools that I had no idea could be used in other contexts,
Mm-hmm.
which speaks to how we define ourselves of, I do this,
Mm.
therefore I don't know how to do anything else, or, once again, the theme being taking ownership for things.
Yes.
So that's my story.
Beautiful. Yes. Yes. So it's now living from the heart, no?
Oh
Really
yeah.
living from the heart.
Oh
Yes.
yes.
It's
Oh
so
yes.
beautiful. It's very, I can relate to this not hearing the voice and then hearing the voice of the heart and then following it blindly, trusting it and leaving everything behind just because you know it's true. Just because you know that that voice is you. It comes from within, no? And it's not all the other chatter you have.
No. And it
And
always only ever speaks truth.
yes, yes. And
Whereas this loud voice will say anything.
anything in any moment, yeah, anything.
Yeah.
The other
Yeah.
one is you feel it, it comes from the heart, you feel it, and it's if you follow it, it just it supports you and it puts you back into where you are, should be, where you are, not what you are. And I had it when I moved to Barcelona. Before I moved into Barcelona, I had that voice that came one day and said, I have to know myself and I have to love myself. And that's when I changed my life. I left everything behind and came from New York to Barcelona. I moved to Barcelona. And
Oh,
already
well done. Well
19
done,
years.
you.
I like
Excellent.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can relate to what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, 100%. I left everything and came here and started over and learning about myself and having many, like you're saying, many bitch slaps on the way.
Yeah.
I'm still having, no, but those that it's like, hey, no, and I always say, no, at the beginning I said, okay, I want to love myself and I know that what I'm doing is the best for me and for um, the one I'm leaving behind. But on the way, I didn't value myself.
No.
So I got many bitch slaps about that until I understood and I integrated value myself. It took me many years, no? But loving is one thing, another thing is valuing yourself.
Oh, absolutely. And I kind of refer to it as accepting yourself and forgiving yourself
Mm-hmm.
and loving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that is anathema to us,
Yeah.
particularly women.
Mm.
Uh, and this is something, I integrate this in my daily gratitude practice, that
Mm.
I'm so happy that I learned how to accept and forgive and love myself. And I'm profoundly grateful to be living at that deeper level of awareness.
Yeah.
And until we do that, this talk, the way people talk, we change from the inside out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we look for love outside of us, and that's not where love is.
No.
And what do you think about this idea of unconditional love? To me, only exists between parents and children and between ourself and the divine. However, I call that the universe or
Yeah.
consciousness, whatever word you use. But this is a rock of unconditional love, is
Yeah.
this connection we have with that.
Yes.
And and my contention is that because we're so disconnected, we are we look for love outside of ourselves continually. We're fearful of looking inward because we're afraid of what we'll find.
Yes.
But what we're missing is this connection with the divine, which is the source of
Yes.
unconditional love. What
Yes.
do you think about that?
For me, unconditional love is also what I feel when I connect heart to heart in conversations like now. So for me, it's not only to children, and it's not only to the universe, or within me. It's really also heart to heart connections and relationships. I feel it. I had when I was 17, I fainted when I was taken blood out because there was a test, and it's the only time in my life where I saw it. No, and I fainted. Yeah, but before fainting, I remember feeling the body hurting and everything, and nauseous, and suddenly I felt this, what I think is the unconditional love. No, and this I was in the middle. It was very light, light that I cannot describe, and it was, for me, it's oneness, and it was so beautiful. And I was conscious, and I was saying, I said to myself, this must be paradise. I remember saying that and feeling it and being in it, and suddenly again feeling the nausea and coming back. No, and I was only away, I don't know, half a minute, but for me it was long. No, I really enjoyed. So when I am connecting in conversations, for instance, or when here in conversations, or even with anyone, or where I'm in my heart, I feel this unconditional love in the solar plexus, a little bit below the heart. I feel this connection.
Chakra, yeah.
So
Wow, that's cool.
and that's when I say we are limitless, because I feel it in you, I feel it in me. We are limitless because we have this energy. We are love. We are unconditional
Oh,
love.
indeed, we are love. Indeed, I
Yes.
agree with you. I completely agree. What you just said about hearts connecting. I just never thought of it in terms of unconditional love, because that to me is a slightly different, unique thing.
Yeah.
But I do believe that we are love, we are loved, and we are love.
Yes.
And when we do make a connection, geographical distance is meaningless. And the feeling that we get from that is unique, and it affords us a glimpse into the potentiality of the infinity of consciousness. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Indeed, indeed. Wow,
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
So we're not alone.
No.
How do we teach people that?
Yes, I've wondered so many times, because I even had a community, no, the PI Move community, Positive Impact Movement, and I tried to teach it, but at the end I learned that it's by being the example, by being it for yourself, you then are able to show it to others. And it's only by experience of the person to understand it. No, you can teach it, but it's really, it's embodying it, being it. And with that, you by you being you being the example of what you want to see in others, it's the way that others feel it. And
I feel it. Oh, it's contagious.
yes.
It's contagious. And some people even can articulate that and can even not just people who are into personal development and this world of that, but I went in a new restaurant in Los Angeles to like check it out. It was near where I lived, and I just wanted to check it out, and it was I think it was a Friday in the evening, whatever. Anyway, they were slammed. It was like crazy busy. And I went up to the hostess and I'm like, "Hey, hi, how are you?" And she's like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, dude. I just wanted to like check the place out. Is it cool if I just like look around and maybe look at a menu? I live in the hood. You guys are new here." And so she's like, "Oh yeah." I did. I came back and she said, she gave me one of the greatest gifts I've ever received. She goes, "Thank you so much. Your energy, your vibe is incredible. I was having the shittiest time you can possibly imagine. We're overbooked. I've got a bunch of like whatever. And you just like walked in here and everything's orange now." And she thanked me. So this is tangible to people. Yeah. And those rare people who can articulate that, I always encourage to think about how that felt, because it's always kind of extreme like that, where something was really shitty and then suddenly it was really amazing. It isn't some gradual, it's very binary, right? It's on and off. So I encourage them to think about that. And with clients too, has that ever happened to you? Whatever, they'll be like, "Yeah." And what do you think that meant? And sometimes people will be like, "I don't know, I have no idea." And then other times people are, well, I don't really know, but I know it meant something. And so maybe we can figure that out. And that's when the heart smiles and things begin. Yeah.
Yes. It's when we open up, no? Then it begins, when the heart is flourishing.
Is ready, is receptive.
Yeah. So beautiful.
Indeed. And you know how in the Islamic faith we pray like this, which I've always found very evocative and symbolic. Yes, reception. Exactly, exactly. So cool. Yeah.
Yes, very nice, because it's not
That, yes.
well, this is when we do this, it's honor, but when it's the I ask you for, no? And this is more like
I'm ready to receive.
yes.
Is supplication, right? Please, please, I'm begging, please. And it's closing and begging and positive energy. But yeah, this is a visual representation that you're receptive to wisdom and divinity and love and whatever falls in there. Yeah.
Yes. Very nice. It's nice. I didn't know that.
Well, and we have to be receptive for that to happen.
Yes.
Like you said, we can talk to people and try to teach that. And if they don't buy it or buy into it, right? "Oh no, my head and I blah, 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 and I saw a therapist and he said," and she, it's like, okay, whatever, man.
Yeah.
They haven't been bitch slapped.
No.
They will be. And so all we can do is offer them our heart, open that to them and wish
Mhm.
them the best, and
Mhm.
maybe not spend more of our precious limited energy doing something it's not the right time to happen yet. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it's there's where we play. We see when I was going to say we play with the respect, but it's play is not the word. We use the respect. We know it's to respect the time of everyone else, no, of them to be ready, and knowing that there are certain times that they are just not ready. So it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
So
And
to let that go.
yeah, and continue, and for us to continue walking our path, no, being the example for ourselves, and that's it. That's it.
And
That's
I think when we do that from a certain place, the people who who are aligned with the time are placed in front of us.
yes,
And always, it's always been in my life. And I'm sure you've
yes,
lived through the same of
yes.
more of this conditioning that life is linear,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You go to
Yes.
school, you go to a good university, you get a blip, 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 point A to point B, game over, I'm retired. Too bad I've never seen Monaco.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, and life is not at all linear.
No.
And to I love that. I find that very exciting and very exhilarating that I don't know what's gonna happen, but something's gonna happen. I just don't
Yes, I
know what
love that. I love
and
that. Yes.
and I don't need to know. I don't
Yeah.
really care, man. The fun is like finding
Yeah.
it out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yes. I love
So
that. Yeah.
A to B, B to C, C to D, D to, and this it's like neural pathways, what they look like in our brain. It's
Mm-hmm.
like the cosmos, what that,
Mm-hmm.
linearity doesn't exist really in nature. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's curvilinear. So it speaks to me so loudly that we hold on to the need to be linear and the need to remain the same. And literally everything around us is in constant motion
Yes.
from a quantum physical point of view.
Yes.
Everything is in motion and nothing is linear. And what a like, okay, wait, dude, what? Like you
Mm-hmm.
want to be this where everything that exists is not,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
except you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, I mean, it's so crazy to me,
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's a hard sell for people to those are I believe if you're heart centered, you're not like that anyway. But when you dwell in your mind,
Mm-hmm.
that is a very, very difficult and abstract concept to grasp. No.
Yes, yes, yes. In the mind is there's a lot of control, no? It's the control of something that you cannot control. When you dwell in your mind, yes. It's and it's that's why it's I love it, because when you describe it, and you describe it so beautiful with passion and everything, it's for me I love it in when you say it's so beautiful not to know, because I say it every moment. I love every day, and I enjoy every day, every moment in day, because I don't know what's going to happen. No? And
Exactly.
I love not knowing, because there are so many possibilities. And we just choose moment by moment through our hearts, no? Through what comes to us. And it's so beautiful. Why should I
Fun.
know?
It's fun.
It's fun. It's
Yes,
fun.
yes. And it makes
Opening.
totally, totally. And this is huge for people. The
Mhm.
known, we need to, I've got to know. No, you don't. And it, of course, has to do with control, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And so that's another, talk is cheap. We can say words,
yes.
and it's there's many ways of saying the same thing, and the onus is on us to find the person or the book or the whatever that articulates that in a way we resonate with, right? And so this absurd need to be in control and to dwell in the known, this is another visual thing of just open your hand, man. Just start there. Just open your hand and look at yourself doing that. And that's another like game I play with people who are so like, oh, one of my best friends is like that, you know. She gets all uptight and all wound up, and she's talking in her hands, and I take her arm, and I'm like, sweetheart, stop, open your hand. And she's like, I'm like, come on, man, just open your hand for me and watch yourself do it. And it wasn't the first time I did that to her, but it got through to her. She's like, oh my God. I'm like, exactly. And so the uncertainty, the unknown, uncertain, we can't handle this, you know? But the in uncertainty and unknown is the same in unlimited.
Yes.
Same
Yes. Yes.
So I like
Yes. Yes.
and it's a conundrum for people of, we think we feel better. Well, let me say, our mind tells us we feel better controlling our circumstances and remaining within what we know. That we're safe there, that we're whatever, yeah. But when in fact, the opposite is true.
Yes. The opposite is freeing.
Yeah. Yeah. And like me, I bet you wake up every morning totally excited, like you wake up right away and you're all like, oh my God, it's another day. What's going to happen today? And of course, there's tasks to be done, like this is an appointment we made, and you know, what you have to go grocery shopping. I need my Estrella beer, whatever, man. But apart from that, not knowing is like anything could happen, right?
Yes.
How can that, I just don't get, like, how can that not be exciting? How can that be scary for you? Anything can happen. How's that a bad thing? I don't get it.
Yes, because it's limiting it's for them, they have to have it here in their mind what it's going to happen, and many times they even tell something bad is going to happen, but it's for them better to know that something bad is going to happen, no?
Yes,
in their mind, or something they're going through, something that they don't want to go through, but they have it that day, so that day it's not so good, you know. But it's better for them than just living the moment and enjoying whatever comes, which is amazing, everything, because it's a surprise. Every moment is a surprise.
Exactly.
Yes.
And this is a fundamental, not flaw, but a fundamental failing of us, our human nature, is this tremendous fear and trepidation around the concept that, hey, anything can happen. And the unsaid part of that, right, is anything can happen, and it's not necessarily all good. But that's okay, because that's life. Every moment can't be golden, you know. And so it speaks to resilience and your willingness to take that risk of, I don't care. Anything can happen. It's all good, man. If it's great, that's terrific. If it sucks, whatever, tomorrow's another day, or next lifetime around, that'll happen, you know, whatever. But it speaks to a fragility almost, delicata, you know, is fragility of of us, like shells that can be broken if something bad happens, where that's not at all. We're much stronger and more resilient than anything, you know?
Yes, and it's something bad happens at the end. It's really, it's growth.
Well, yeah.
It's growth. And so with this growth, I don't say I welcome bad things, because there are many bad things, but I'm here to live and to grow. So I love not knowing, because I'm here to live and to grow, you know, and to be in service. So, and I don't know in what I'm going to be in service. That's another thing, you know, but it's so beautiful. I don't have to know, because I'm living every moment, and it will come. If I'm open-hearted every moment, it will be what it has to be for the growing to happen, for the living to happen, and for the service to happen.
And I think it already is. The
Yeah.
service already is. I mean, and if I've taken away one thing from LinkedIn, I didn't start with LinkedIn until like the very end of August.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, the connection is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Human connection is
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I don't remember what someone's post, how I saw you, but it was, you had commented on something, and I immediately found your profile, went to your newsletter site, signed up for that,
Oh,
connected
thank
with
you.
you, and solicited this. Well, you're already in service, is my
Mhm.
point. Because that vibe, when we vibe like that, people definitely feel that, dude. Like not everybody, all the like business to business crowd, whatever, that's they're on a different path and they'll get there in this lifetime or the next.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, we're very abundant and we're
Mm.
not limited to defining abundance. Abundance has nothing to do with money, really.
No.
And of course, we think it does, but you and I share an abundance of love and the vibe, high vibration energy and passion. And people feel that. People recognize, even in comments, I've had people comment back saying, "Oh my God, your energy is amazing," or you know. So I think we're in service. I think we're already
Mm.
in service. I know.
Yes, we are. We are. Yes. Yes. I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure to be with you. Really
Likewise,
love it.
likewise.
I feel you, and it's so nice. It's such a beautiful energy. I thank you so much.
Uh, I thank you the same. It's mutual, very mutual. And here we are, thousands of miles apart,
Yes.
and our hearts are glowing and smiling, and our faces are smiling, and we have one more beautiful person in our shared world.
Yes. Yes. I thank you for that, really, because and I know, yes, I will stay close to you, because I've been so nurtured by you. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, right back at you. Thank you. Indeed, we're already connected.
Yes, 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 we are. I know that. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you. I appreciate your time, and I will see you again soon.
Oh, yes, I know that.